The Angry Chicken is a production of amove.tv. Check out Amove TV for more podcasts covering Blizzard games. And for more of Jocelyn's gaming podcasts, visit jossplays.com. The Angry Chicken is brought to you by our legendary patrons over at patreon.com/TAC.
Time's up. Let's do this.
Legendary!
You face Jaraxxus. You smell like a leper gnome. I knew it. So hot.
A podcast about Hearthstone and Battlegrounds. This is The Angry Chicken!
Greetings, welcome, happy Wednesday, all of those salutations. Basically, damn Bob, because I just got second place with a god tier, divine shielded board, but it didn't matter because of 4 macaws and a goldrin. Hi, everyone.
4 macaws and a goldrin walk into a bar just to ruin Garrett's day.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Garrett. Here, as always, with Jocelyn. Jocelyn, you're back. You were gone last week, but you're fine. You're good. We were like trying to figure out the delicate way to be like, there was a dental thing. She's fine. Like, it's fine, but teeth. It's uncomfortable even when the most minor of teeth things go wrong.
Yeah. So, I don't talk about my health stuff too often, but I grind my teeth like a mofo, and sometimes that creates some issues. So everything's all good now, but they had to. There were some things that need to be fixed, but it's fine.
I had a lot of weird mouth stuff in my younger days, which led to like. I think a solid 4 years in braces. It was a long time.
Well, it's crazy because it turns out that maybe my braces when I was 13 is probably what has caused all my jaw problems. So someone did this to me, which I just found out, which is great because I've had these problems since I was a teenager. So anyways, nobody wants to hear about that. Everyone's here to hear about Hearthstone, but
that's no fun. That's no fun. Well, someone in the chat room is asking us what our favorite Taylor Swift song is. So clearly not everyone's here to hear about Hearthstone.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, by the way, there's one answer. It's Shake It Off. That's the only answer.
I like Blank Space.
And actually, I think I still know all the words to Love Story because it was top 40 when I was working retail. So, gonna happen.
There's so many.
Gonna happen. Used to have a band that did a punk rock cover of Love Story. That was the last band I had. We did nothing. We played 0 shows. The only person that had to hear it was the garage walls. And that was a good thing. The world didn't need to be exposed to that. But the world does need to be exposed to the lovely folks that make this show possible, supporting us over at patreon.com/TAC. We always thank our patrons before we get into the news, get into the rundown, and do the show. And today is no different. So if you like what we're doing here at The Angry Chicken, you want to support us in our independent Hearthstone coverage, that's right. Blizz don't pay for this. Although, Blizzard, if you're listening, I'm ready to change a lot of opinions real fast. If
wow.
Yeah. Just saying.
Hashtag sellout Garrett.
Oh, I'm 34. I'm still, it's, at this point, it's over. I take back everything anything bad I ever said about any band that I thought sold out when I was growing up. I will sell it like that, everybody. You'll know the moment it happens because I'll get on here being like, Hearthstone is perfect. There's nothing wrong with Priest. It's the greatest class in the game. More on that later, by the way. A little teaser for our strategy talk today. But you like us, you want to support us, get some perks like an ad-free version of the podcast, access to our Discord. You can just you can add us in the Discord. You can talk to us directly, or our lovely fine other folks that are hanging out in there. And so this week we want to thank our latest patron, Cameron Truitt, and also wanted to give a shout out to Sherman, who's been a patron for a while, but Sherman upped their pledge this week. So thank you so much, both of you.
Yay!
For becoming patrons, staying patrons, and upping your patronage. So thank you very much. And with that in mind, let's get into it. This week's Hearthstone news.
Good news, everyone!
BlizzCon bundles are available. Sorry, BlizzCon
Line.
It's the Pits, man. I don't like the name. It doesn't work for
the
me.
name so much.
Just doesn't work for me. Yeah. But whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm just glad something is happening. But this thought crossed my mind like last minute last week. Was just like, wait, are they doing like any sort of goodies? It's BlizzCon. Like, I'm sure they like were already probably planning on some for the canceled one last year because some of these assets take a while to make. Like I would imagine, I don't know, having a limited knowledge of modeling and animation and all of that, I look at that World of Warcraft bear mount and go, yeah, that probably took some time.
That World of Warcraft bear could have been so cool, but it's got these like weird saddlebags hanging off its butt that like bounce off it when it runs, and I'm like,
I like that. I thought that was such a nice touch. It gives
really?
It gives it so much motion and character. And anyway, our personal opinions about the World of Warcraft mount aside,
but I love it from the front with all the like icicles and stuff. It's so cool. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of the butt.
It is the official mount of Canada. It's covered in icicles.
Yeah.
But speaking of butts, it turns out, they are indeed doing some sort of like digital goodie bag for your dollars. They're coming for your dollars again. And there's 3 levels. They're like $20 and $40 and $60. And there's Hearthstone bonuses at every level, right, Joss?
Yeah, so you get 10 Madness of the Darkmoon Faire packs in the Essentials pack, which is the $20 pack. And then you get that plus a random legendary from Madness of the Darkmoon Faire for the Heroic pack, which is the $40 bundle. And then the $60 bundle gives you the first 2 things, as well as 5 golden Madness of the Darkmoon Faire card packs. So 25 golden cards, random golden cards from Madness of the Darkmoon Faire. So obviously all of these Hearthstone bonuses are on top of the bonuses for all the other Blizzard games. So it's not like they're charging you $20 for 5 golden packs. Like there's a whole bunch of other stuff for, we just mentioned the Warcraft mount. There's stuff for Overwatch and Heroes and, all kinds of things. As well as I think everybody gets like a discount in the, like a coupon code for a discount in the Blizzard store, like the merch store. So yeah, they're, I got it, and it actually these card packs actually ended up finishing out my Darkmoon Faire collection.
Oh, all
I
of
now
it.
have
Damn.
every card from the Darkmoon Faire. Yeah.
Oh, hot damn. Well, I don't know I don't know if you listened to last week's episode, but live on the show, I tested if I could buy the lower bundle from the mysterious bundles that were showing up in people's games, like live on the show, because I had purchased the one that was offered to me, which was like the largest bundle, and you and I and Hat were all talking about it in Discord before the show and before you had to go see the dentist, and we we're all offered the same one. But live on the show last week, I was like, can you get another one? It seems like the kind of thing they would limit. Nope, they do not. You can absolutely buy the lower tier, and it took my money right there live on the show. And yeah, I have not completed the Darkmoon set, but as you remember, I had a really lousy opening. I think it was like almost dead on like average opening. Which I guess technically isn't lousy, but I would my hot take would be average opening doesn't feel particularly great, especially when you buy as many packs as I buy.
I thought you were gonna say, especially when I come on the show the next day and I'm like, listen to all the legendaries I got.
I mean, that too.
Yeah, imagine if you have a jerk for a co-host. That would really suck to have an average pack opening.
It's all right. I get you back. We're just 2 jerks. Not going to finish how I was going to finish that. So anyways, yeah. So
2 jerks goes a long way.
Two jerks does go a long way. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to buy this. I think this is going to be the first like BlizzCon, like, cause I've been to every BlizzCon in person since 2010, which means like I got all the BlizzCon things. So this will be the first, I think, BlizzCon goodie round that I will not be getting. Because I'm just like, it's cool, but I don't have to have it. The thing that for me is the most exciting is the damn Overwatch skin, because it's Rainer Reinhardt, which is amazing. Okay. But if you held a gun to my head, I couldn't tell you the last time I logged into Overwatch. So
yeah, it's not even installed on my computer anymore. And I was thinking about it for a while, and I was really on the fence, and then I was just like, I always get the BlizzCon stuff, so I might as well. Like, I'm not traveling this year. I'm not buying a con ticket. I'm not, there's a lot of savings with this being virtual. So I was like, I like Hearthstone. I like Hearthstone cards, so I'm just gonna get this. Plus it's a polar bear mount, right? So I think technically
I was going to say hashtag, but media pass to Jocelyn, who was just talking about buying a BlizzCon ticket, which I would love to know when the last time you had to do that was.
Well, I buy them every year, and then I just end up usually either giving them to somebody or selling them to somebody because we never know about our media passes till 2 weeks before. And I'm sorry, I'm not planning hotels and international travel 2 weeks before BlizzCon.
I can't imagine this will ruffle any feathers. I think it was the second year I was fortunate enough to get media access. I don't believe I knew that fact until I was on the plane to BlizzCon. That was when I got the confirmation, and I was like, well, time to go on Twitter and see if anyone physically in California wants to buy my regular BlizzCon pass. But these are extremely first world creator problems.
Yes.
But like without
having to actually travel this year, there's a pretty big BlizzCon budget that didn't get used. So I like Hearthstone things. I like Blizzard things. So yeah, I just bought it.
I just need I don't know. I've got a VR headset sitting over there. Could they I need the Disney the day after experience. I need us all to sync up whatever the hell the thing in Ready Player One is called. And we all visit virtual Disneyland together and get stale churros. That was last year, wasn't it? Where the churros were super stale. We were just like, oh God, why do we spend money on this?
It's unfortunate.
Sad. But yeah, there's some cool stuff in here. I personally think I'm going to be passing on it. But yeah, if you still need some cards, especially with a guaranteed legendary and whatnot, this is somewhat enticing. So in other news this week, Ixar is back at it, answering all sorts of questions. And mercifully, Hearthstone has put a lot of the answers together in one easy to find place. And there's just a lot here, and it's pretty scattershot. So let's just kind of move through the highlights, Jocelyn, starting with one that I know you're going to agree with, which is, according to Ixar, from a player metrics perspective, it seems like Demon Hunter was successful.
Yeah, and I mean, we're going to talk about this because we have a Demon Hunter related question down in the email section today. So I'm not going to go too deep into this, but it makes sense to me, right? If you look at player metrics, which I'm assuming is how many people are playing Demon Hunter, then those numbers are going to be high because it was super powerful at the beginning, way overpowered to the point of getting nerfed really quickly, and then it remained powerful for the duration of the year. So I mean, if that's your metric, then absolutely it was successful. I mean, it's really hard, and we've said this before, it's really hard to measure if something's actually fun. And then if you're trying to measure fun, are you measuring the fun of the player or the opponent? Because those things can also wildly differ. So from an actual time played, dex played, number of people who are jamming Demon Hunter on ladder, I'm sure it's a lot. I don't know if that's the best metric for testing this, how successful the launch of a new class is, but I mean, outside of a player survey, how do you really measure, right? So I mean, you listen to this show, but then you would probably chalk Demon Hunter up to the greatest failing in the history of humankind. Exactly. It doesn't get any worse than Demon Hunter,
especially if Joss is here. But no, it's I thought that was a little. Somewhat strange metric, but yeah. I mean, also it's basically it's the
one they have, right?
Yeah, I was mostly teasing you here. To be fair, it was also multiple times over the course of the past year making comments being like, "Yep, it is not where we want it to be, and that's why we're nerfing it." So they have also measured it by plenty of other metrics and made changes accordingly. So credit given where it is
Absolutely.
Most certainly due. He also mentioned Highlander Hunter and said that it has been close to a tier 1 deck for 5 expansions and has a reasonable argument to be considered one of the best decks in Hearthstone history. And I completely agree.
Yeah, the Highlander archetypes in general were pretty interesting and stuck around for quite a while. They were enabled by some really powerful cards, and the classes that could actually take advantage of them did fairly well. Highlander Mage kind of came in and out of the meta, but for whatever reason, Hunter just seemed to be the most, pervasive or stable throughout the course of the meta. And it never really like went away. It was always there as an option.
It's still there.
It's still there. Yeah, exactly. It's the kind of thing that it is still performing well. It has been performing well. And like won't go anywhere until it rotates, which is kind of crazy. I can't remember outside of like some very like base specific archetypes, like say Zoo Warlock, which even then that comes in and out. But like I can't remember an archetype just kind of sticking around under everybody's radar for so long. Like people were screaming about Evolve Shaman. People were screaming about Paladin right now. They were screaming about Priest. Like everybody screamed about something, but for whatever reason, Highlander Hunter never really got screamed about. Like there was some talk about like how maybe Alex was too powerful and Zeph was a little bit too powerful, but like no one was like, grr, Hunter, I don't know why. It's like Hunter just always gets to be there and be decently good and people are fine with it.
It's just kind of that crowd pleaser. It's like respectable. It has a good reputation. It doesn't really offend anybody. Like, yeah,
it's like Hunter is just completely not offensive.
Yeah, it's like there's like, I don't know.
I think it feels powerful but fair. I think maybe that's it. Is just like it's just decently like you could just kind of rely. It's like old reliable. You could just rely on it being good and winning you some games, and yet it never feels like you're pulling any crazy, stupid high roll shenanigans. It's like, oh yeah, the Highlander Hunter's here again. Okay, yeah, it'll be a fair game. It'll be a fun game. I'm not offended. You're not offended. No matter who wins, we both go our separate ways. We're happy.
yeah, because you've got like your OTK combo decks on like one end of the spectrum that really make people mad. You've got your just like faces the place aggro decks that make people mad, and like just right there in the middle is Highlander Hunter. It's like the Foo Fighters of Hearthstone decks. Like you got Miley Cyrus. Some people love her. Some people can't stand her. You got Eminem, same thing. But I've never heard anyone say anything bad about the Foo Fighters.
Yeah, it just kind of rode the high end of the pack. Every once in a while it would peak and be the best deck, but that never seemed to last very long because we would get, an expansion or a patch or a mini set or whatever. Something else would overtake it. So it was never like the deck in Hearthstone to play all the time. I don't know. Yeah. It seemed to kind of fly under the radar in terms of Reddit rage. I played it
day one of the mini set release because I had lined up 3 Hunter quests, and I'm like, why not? Screw it. I'm gonna just pilot something I know, and my experience will be what other people are playing, and I'll just pilot this Highlander deck, get some wins, complete some quests. I've always been a fan of it, but it's losing basically its entire core with the next standard rotation. Yeah. So I think it's time to pour one out for it. So I'm glad XR did so. Yeah. On the subject of a pack voucher, which is something that's been suggested multiple times, we've had people write in about it as well, which is like, why don't you give me a pack voucher instead of a specific pack so I can go and redeem what type of pack I want? XR said that they don't want to introduce a pack voucher because the majority of rewards are gold anyways. And if there are pre-selected packs, you don't need to make a decision. And it sounds like this is by design. Like this is kind of, they want it to be that way because he continues to say, you already have a lot of decision-making in the game with things like gold and dust. And this is the fun part where you don't need to decide what you want/need. It should be the minority of rewards though. So
basically they don't want to make the decisions for you all the time, right? But anytime they do, it's like, oh, hey, here's Madness packs because it's the newest expansion or whatever, right? So, and I think he is right that they've moved more towards gold, which gold you can go buy anything. So, they've kind of done this in a roundabout way without actually earmarking your gold for something specific, which is basically what a pack voucher is, right? A pack voucher is just an amount of gold with a wrapper on it saying you must spend this gold on a pack. So they might as well just make that reward gold and then you can go get a pack or do whatever else you want.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't necessarily agree with this, but I also don't feel supremely strong about it. Like I see XR's point. Personally, I'd rather have a voucher, but also I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I'd rather have a decision point, especially now. I think it becomes a little bit more important to either replace those packs with gold or give out a pack voucher if you want people specifically to have packs, like pack redemptions, as opposed to just introducing more gold into the economy. But I don't know, when you have achievements now that very specifically say, like, get all the legendaries in such and such an expansion, or where they have collection specific completion achievements, I feel like I should be able to say, oh, hey, I didn't play a whole lot during Ungoro, I want to go buy an Ungoro pack, or I want to redeem this voucher for an Ungoro pack and try to like flesh out my collection. That maybe this is something that could be looked at, but I mean, maybe just give us all gold. Like maybe
that works too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to
give
me,
us
I like the gold.
the pack cost equivalent of gold, right?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
100 gold or whatever. So
Yeah,
just everywhere you would give us a pack, give us gold instead.
Yeah, and for me, like the achievements are like whatever, because for the most part, you don't really get much from it. But the fact that you unlock things in duels is the big thing for me. Even though I don't personally really play duels, but it is still, it's a part of the game.
It is tied to your collection, right?
It's tied to your collection. Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, on the subject of Hysteria, XR said that they made the call to let Hysteria slip through, even though they knew about the Wretched Tiller and other interactions. Continued saying they made this call because they tend not to, quote, round all edges ahead of the set launch in order to keep the game interesting. This time it didn't work out. I mean, I don't know. I would say it sure shit kept things interesting.
People were definitely interested.
And what was, I think the final, it was like 3 days, I think, before they made a change. So it's not like it was here for that long. I know it really homogenized the wild experience, but again, I believe the count was 3 days compared to, say, the homogenized standard experience right now with Ramp Paladin.
Hachikuma in the chat room saying six days total. Yeah. So
trying to recall it from memory. I do not have it in front of me, and I do not commit those sort of things to memory. Also said on the Battleground side of things that Khadgar might be deleted soon because they are sick of getting mentions from Slissa.
Right?
No, wait, that's not what they said. But he said they are still exploring a couple of solutions. They will have more details in the next couple of weeks. We'll see. We'll see. I'm surprised they seem a lot more rigid with Battlegrounds balance. It feels like Team 5 of old with Battlegrounds, and that's it. And I really disagree with it because it's their most popular mode by like every metric I can get eyes on.
So do you think that they want to like keep him in, or like do you think they should have rotated him out? Do you think that they should have just like changed how he worked or something? Or because I feel like a tweak to Khadgar where it's like every minions that like if he worked the same way he works right now, except for had like an in combat tag, right? Instead of in the tavern, that would solve the problem, right? Like,
yes, yeah,
because then you wouldn't be able to play a bajillion alley cats and get a bajillion golden kitty cats and then go from there. So that's kind of the mechanical problem, and combat would solve that, but then Khadgar would be different than his iteration in the rest of Hearthstone. So maybe we get Khadgarington the Third.
I really have to think that they're trying to find a way to fix the skipping battle bug, because that would go a long way, at least to make this significantly more difficult. Because the APM that's required to abuse Khadgar in such a way, it takes so much time that it is worth it to exploit that feature and skip the battle phase.
Yeah.
So I would, it's not called out here, but it's part of that puzzle. And so I'm curious if that's one of the things they're going to attempt to address. And again, the fact that they haven't done anything with it, though, makes me think that it's much more complicated on their back end to make any sort of change to that. Or I think we would have seen something by now, because it is a really glaring and really well-known exploit. So there's I don't know. This one seems complicated, and I to me, like, just reeks of this is not an easy fix. Obviously, removing Khadgar would be a quote-unquote easy fix, but clearly they don't want to do that which
Yeah,
takes my
I think
brain
they
in all
like
kinds
the
of
way.
places.
Yeah, I think they like the way he works or the strategies that he potentially enables. They just don't want him to, like, I don't know. It's weird because it's like they don't want the exploitable version of Khadgar, but they like him in theory and they don't know what to do with him in the meantime.
Yeah, I think
So-
it is like that exploit aside, like it's a really interesting card. There's a lot of potential mid-tier power spikes that can happen with him, and that's very unique, and it takes a lot of skill and know-how and speed of execution.
Yeah.
So that is cool in its own way, kind of the same way, like that was a big thing with the old way Murlocs used to work, and it still kind of is, but because you can't Divine Chill poisonous them, a lot of people aren't really going down that route anymore. But like for all my complaining about it, it did take a great deal of skill to like pilot Murlocs and get max value out of it, and I think the same thing here is true with Khadgar. Unfortunately, though, it's also on the
I
back
can't
of this
do.
exploit.
I am way too slow to do the Khadgar exploit.
Yeah. Like, good luck on your phone. Like, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
It ain't happening. What is happening is your phone is going across the room because you're going to be frustrated. So yeah, there's all that. I mean, yeah. So I don't know. My brain goes to, I think Khadgar might be core to a part of the design philosophy. They may have planned out the next few rounds of major updates and had Khadgar in mind. Like, there's all kinds of potential reasons I think could be here. But the one that really feels to me to be true, even though it hasn't been mentioned, is like that skipping battle exploit is hard to fix. That's just what I think, and I would really like them to talk about it because I want to know where the roadblock is, because I'm kind of fascinated by the fact that it's like reached like Voldemort, like dare not speak its name territory, like from the team. So yeah. Anyways, moving on, it said that the Hearthstone team is positive about Demon Hunter and will probably make another new class in the future. And then kind of expanded upon that, saying that they have talked about things like Death Knight Monk, or even the idea of inventing something new, which is particularly curious. But then immediately tempered all expectations by saying there is no new class in development today. And well, we know that they work, a year ahead of schedule. So
yeah, so it won't be coming in the year of the whatever gets announced at BlizzConline. So
unless Xr is like bold-faced lying to us, which doesn't seem like his style.
I'm pretty sure that he wouldn't lie about something like this just because they've been getting a lot of good community feelings by doing all these AMAs. And if he legit came out and said, we're not working on it, and then like 2 weeks from now we get to BlizzConline and they're like, monks are coming, boom, everyone would be like, but you said, and then they lose all credibility from these AMAs, and they lose all of like the good feels that they've generated over the last little while by doing these things. So I think it's fairly safe to say he's not lying to us, because he would just lose all credibility. So yeah.
I'm going to go with he went, well, I said there's no new class in development right now, but Death Knight and Monk are existing classes in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, so they're not new.
And then he puts on his best
point...
Obi-Wan voice and says, well, from a certain point of view.
Oh man, he would get smacked around Reddit so hard.
XR, I'm telling you, I would think that was the most baller move ever, and I would applaud you. It'd be great. Just bold-faced lie to us like 2 weeks before BlizzCon, and then like bomb drop new class. That'd be great.
But I think it's really interesting that like this is the, I guess, like closest we've seen to them outside of launching Demon Hunter, obviously, but the closest that we've seen from them being like, yeah, we're doing it. This is like something we're going to keep doing, something we are still thinking about, something we're open to. Like for so long, it was like, no. Like Frozen Throne was as close as you're ever going to get to Death Knights.
I just want a Death Knight. I just want an Arthas hero. I just want an Arthas body pillow. I just want an Arthas.
I just want an Arthas.
That's all I want. Also, I'm not buying that bundle because I'm saving for that helm. Maybe, I don't know.
I wasn't going to bring up the helm.
It's
but
so much money.
Is it? I didn't even look at it.
It's $300.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you wear it? Because if you can't wear it, that's no.
It is full size. It's, I believe, 16 inches tall.
Wow.
Yeah. I need it. But that's hard to justify. That's really, really hard to justify. Especially after buying 2 Hearthstone bundles just for science.
But if anyone can do it, Garrett, I believe you can.
All right, new patron goal. We would like to increase our Patreon by $600 a month so that we can split that and we can each get. We're not going to use it to improve the quality of the show unless you consider our happiness an improvement on the quality of the show. New modes came out from XR. Said they don't mind fragmenting the player base with new modes because Hearthstone is a big enough game. Hence, they do not need to worry about matchmaking times. I've been yelling this for years. I feel vindicated.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty obvious with like when they launched Battlegrounds that didn't really matter. People in Standard still had quick queue times. People in Battlegrounds had quick queue times. That's kept going the whole time. Like I think we saw a little bit of a hiccup at some point this past year that I'm totally blanking on when exactly that happened. But I mean, even then it was like might have to wait 2 minutes. And again, like, and I've said this so many times, in like every other multiplayer game that I play, I spend like 10, 15 minutes in queues sometimes, like depending on what game it is and depending on what level you're playing at, like sometimes the opponents aren't there. So I think that, the fact that I can still queue for a Hearthstone game, and like when I was playing today, I was getting literal insta pops on my standard ladder. Like I pushed the button and it was like, bam, we're the opponent.
Yeah, I had that too because I was like, maybe I should go to the bathroom. Oh, crap. Like that was just like, oh, I'm in a game.
I'm in for the long haul now.
In for the long haul. Yeah. That's fine in a standard game, but it's terrible if that's a Battlegrounds game. I guess you could log out real quick and log in on your phone. I have done that before. You come to the Angry Chicken.
I did not know that was a thing that you could do.
Yeah, come to the Angry Chicken for the hot switch to need to go to the bathroom tips. There you go. There you go, everybody. They want to add achievements for past single-player content, but weren't sure if adding gameplay achievements for things like GVG would be very enjoyable. Do it. Why not?
Well, he went on to say that because the power level of cards right now, TGT, GVG, those kind of achievements, trying to get them in Wild would just be painful. So
that's fair.
Yeah, like because there's such a small area where you could play the game to get those achievements. I think basically they're just like, if we said, like kill your opponent with boombots or something, like.
What about duels though? Because duels, like those cards do come back up for like legal inclusion in starter decks. As well as being offered in buckets. So, yeah, that's what I would say.
Maybe
and
there's
like
something to do there. Yeah,
not as a how dare you not think about it, but like hey, maybe that's a thing. And like if you know, especially that could almost be a seasonal thing. Like, hey, we're adding achievements as they make sense to what's currently in rotation in duels would be kind of interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that could be something they could look at.
Yeah, just to give you some more options of how to complete them for sure.
Yeah. But anyways, that pretty much does it. Those are the big highlights, especially on subject of topics we talk about here on the Angry Chicken fairly often.
Yeah, there was a lot more to this AMA. So if you guys are interested, we did put the link to the Hearthpwn article in the show notes because I don't know about you, but I hate diving through Reddit looking at AMAs. So Hearthpwn did pull everything together. There are source links that'll take you straight to Ixar's comments. So yeah, go and check out that post. Really good work over there. Saved me so much time.
Our saviors. And now before we get to this week's strategy, that's right, strategy segment is back. Let's thank this week's sponsor.
I got the best deals anywhere.
I don't know you, Joss, but I feel like, I'm always looking at a screen, whether I'm playing Hearthstone, currently going to school or typing up these very show notes that I am reading off of at this exact moment. Some of this is outlived. You can figure out how many pauses I take to think about actual things I want to pull from my brain as opposed to what's typed in the show notes. But, if you're in need of getting away from the monitor, unplugging yourself is easier said than done. One of my favorite ways to rest my eyes and still listen to podcasts made by wonderful and good-looking Americans and Canadians is by putting in my Raycon wireless earbuds and listening to something awesome. I'm not saying that I'm a wonderful-looking American or anything, but maybe that's your jam.
There's got to be good-looking podcasters out there, right? Or unless we podcast because we have faces for radio.
Yeah. Well, my mom always told me I was the prettiest boy at school. So whether you're catching up on your favorite news podcast, you're binging an audiobook, or you're powering through your workout, a pair of Raycons in your ears can make all the difference. You should go check them out over at buyraycon.com/TAC. Josh, you and I have had Raycons for over a year now. We've each had a pair of Raycon earbuds, which is great because that means they've actually been to BlizzCon and back, which I'm missing right now. I know it's happening. It's not going to be the same. I'm going to have to pay Katie like $12 for a beer and turn music up too loud and pretend I'm back in the Hilton. Which I'll turn the music up too loud in my Raycon earbuds because the sound quality is amazing. Pretend like the DJ's still there.
Katie, which would be great.
It'll be great. She'll just, although she probably will be wondering why I'm yelling at her when I'm trying to make conversation. It's like, what'd you think of that Hearthstone announcement? The bass in this is amazing. They're earbuds. How is the bass so good? There you go. There's the whole experience, everybody.
Yeah, that's the Hilton.
Yeah, but I'm just a big fan of them. There's no dangling wires. The Bluetooth connection just like happens seamlessly. Like it's even working well with my Windows laptop. And I don't know if you've ever tried to make Bluetooth work on a Windows device, but it is typically a nightmare scenario.
Not easy.
It's so bad. But for some,
I don't understand how it's so bad.
Yeah, but my Raycons are Bluetooth. My mouse is Bluetooth from my laptop. Raycons, no problem, up and running. I can listen to my lectures for my online masters, no problem. But my mouse is just like farting off in like Bluetooth connection issue land somewhere. So you should go check them out because Raycon is offering 15% off all their products for Angry Chicken listeners. And here's what you've got to do to get it. Go to buyraycon.com/TAC. That's it. Bet you thought this was going to be long-winded. That's all you need to do, and you'll get 15% off your entire Raycon order. So feel free to grab a pair and a spare. That's 15% off at buyraycon.com/TAC. Again, buyraycon.com/TAC. We thank them for their support. We thank you for supporting the brands that support the Angry Chicken. And now let's talk about maybe, possibly, hopefully crossing my fingers, beating Ramp Paladin on ladder. All right. Welcome, everybody, to So You Wanna Beat Ramp Paladin.
Go play another game.
It's all right. It is rough. It is notable, but it's not unbeatable. Entirely. Kind of feels that way if they have Allura, but a little bit.
But it's not actually completely, totally impossible. It's just basically a 50-50 coin flip, which is better than 30%. Right?
Yeah. So you and I were, we've been chatting on Discord on and off about Ramp Paladin over the past week and just been like, all right, what's your best option? If like you're hitting ladder and you're seeing Ramp Paladin after Ramp Paladin after Ramp Paladin, which has been my experience this week, except for today. I've seen barely any Ramp Paladin today. I'm assuming, I don't know, they're all like top 100 legend at this point, and I'm just not going to see them for a while.
They left us in the
dust. but like Monday, Tuesday, it's like all I saw with like a little like garnish of hyper aggro decks that I think were just hoping Ramp Paladins bricked on Allura and then they could just run them over, which is not a bad strategy, it turns out. So these aren't going to be our highlighted decks today, but it is worth mentioning that some really popular options for going up against Ramp Paladin right now are Token Druid and Stealth or Weapon Rogue, whatever you want to call them. They're basically, it's the same thing. Some have...
Yeah, same sort of thing. An aggressive rogue deck, basically.
Yeah. Those are really popular, and they're both relatively affordable, especially the Token Druid. And then also Guardian Druid is doing quite well if you don't want to go if you don't want an aggressive variety. And with Guardian, like as best as I can tell, because I ran into a few while I was playing Ramp Paladin, I'm sorry for being part of the problem, is that they can just go toe to toe if the Ramp Paladin is going down the Nozdormu route. So when we talked about this last week with Ridiculous Hat, we talked about with Ramp Paladin, they have one of two goals: get Allura out, and then get a free tip the scales way earlier than you need to because of either the coin or a spell off of the wand maker.
Yep. Yeah, the 1 mana spells. Yeah.
If that doesn't happen, there's so many 9 mana plus bombs also in the Ramp Paladin deck that there is no storm move. You drop them on 4, you go to 10 mana. Yes, your opponent gets to do it first, but suddenly you're just dropping 9 and 10 mana bombs on board, and your Demon Hunter opponent's like, I don't know, I've got a bunch of 2/1s. And you just laugh.
Yeah, you're basically better prepared for the end game than your opponent in that case. But that's why Guardian Druid works so well against that playstyle, is because the Guardian Druid's like, oh, hey, cool. I was trying to ramp anyways, so you just did it for me. Nice.
Yeah.
And then you just go play some huge 10 drop and you're like, sweet,
Yep.
This is what I wanted to do. Thanks for the initiative.
Yeah. So that it works out for Guardian in that degree. Can go south if they get Allura. Most likely will go south, but there's some factors there for sure. So Token Druid, aggressive rogue, whether it's stealth weapon, they're very similar lists. Guardian Druid, solid options. All of them are pretty close to a 50-50 matchup if you look on a site like HS Replay. And that's pretty much the case across the board. Your best option to fight against Ramp Paladin is to find decks that are close to a 50% win rate, because none of them really have like a massive leg up on Ramp Paladin.
Yeah.
And it really does come down to that Allura. There is just not really an answer for it. A couple exceptions. Another one we didn't mention is like these control warrior variants that are running Barov and setting things to 1. And because that's like the one class that is like a surefire, cheap way to deal with it. But we're going to talk today,
Which is what I was seeing a lot about today. I was seeing a lot of them out and about today.
I saw one.
It's just warriors. So many.
I think I mentioned on the show last week. I saw one right before the show. Got up to 60 effective health with armor. I was playing Ramp Paladin. I still won. Oh my God. Yep. Yeah, I was just beating them in the face with 8/8s or 7/7s or whatever the giants are. It still gets there, but it has happened, folks. The show it took 402 episodes. I'm going to talk about Priest because that is the deck we are highlighting today. We're going to be talking about Big Priest because it is one of these decks that can go toe to toe with Ramp Paladin. And again, it's difficult if Allura goes off as early as possible. But the cool thing about Big Priest is like it even has a couple potential ways out if Allura is 1 turn late. Mm-hmm. Like 1 turn late. It's a combo of cards because there's no like massive board clears until you hit 9 or 8 mana, but or 9 mana. But
9,
yeah. So Big Priest.
But maybe potentially a little bit less, though, because so the really cool thing about Big Priest, first and foremost, so I didn't get onto this deck because of HS Replay, where I normally get my stuff. I went to the competitive Hearthstone subreddit because I was like, okay, if anyone knows if there's a counter to Ramp Pally, it's going to be the competitive Hearthstone people. They know all. And so they pointed me in the direction of Big Priest. And the really cool thing about this deck is that there's actually kind of a lot of room to move some things in and out. And one of the things that I find really interesting that did a lot of work for me was actually Palm Reading, which is the 3 mana rare priest spell. It says discover a spell and reduce the cost of spells in your hand by 1. Which means if you've got stuff in your hand like Holy Nova, if you've got things like Plague of Death, all of a sudden, if you get a couple palm readings off, you might actually be able to get a Plague of Death off, as early, if you've got the coin, maybe even as early as turn 6, which then, like totally disrupts what the Paladin's trying to do. You've also got a lot of board clears in Breath of the Infinite. And like I mentioned, Holy Nova, which again, Holy Nova is kind of one of those flex spots. But a lot of like the little Murlocs that they have, like 1, 2, 3 health. Like they're not it's not like they're dropping gigantic bombs onto the board, right? They're still dropping Murlocs. Like these are little piddly dudes. So,
yeah. Full clears the turn after Allura happens it's very difficult. But you're right, palm reading can kind of get you there sometimes. But that's again, it's like if they're 1 turn off, off, and you could like double Breath of the Infinite. Yeah, and like full clear, because again, and I talked about the big booty on Crab Rider last week. The big booty on Crab Rider is hard to kill. It's got 4 health, so you need 2 Breath of the Infinites, or you need to have found spell power somehow because there's no spell power in the deck. And Holy Nova is too expensive to be part of a combo that early in the game. But you know, there's ways to get there. But like overall, this Big Priest deck is like if you've looked at a Big Priest for 2 years, this is going to look familiar to you. A few things have changed in and out, and also there's multiple lists out there. The most popular one right now is like old school Big Priest that has nothing from the mini set. I like this one, which the first time I saw this list, or at least a version of it, was Dexter playing it. I think he has 2 Big Priest videos that have been posted in the last week. So shout out to Dexter. We've had him on before. Go support his YouTube and go see how you play these decks like visually. But Hysteria is in this list, and I still really like it. Like, I know it was nerfed for the sake of everyone's sanity and wild, but it is still a really good like piece of control tool in this deck. Not, you know, as important as in terms of like trying to deal with the Murloc threat, but it still can be, especially like Nozdormu is a juicy target for Hysteria if you find yourself in such a situation, which you will now.
Absolutely. And the really great thing too about this Big Priest deck is that you can use it to go up against Ramp Pally, because again, you're kind of in that same headspace as Guardian Druid, where if the Ramp Pally chooses the ramp route, then you have a big back end to this deck. You have a lot of big bombs of your own, so you can kind of play along with them in that Guardian Druid kind of way. But then also, you're not only necessarily targeting their Allura plays, but you're also targeting the stuff that's targeting them. So again, with the Breath of the Infinites and the Holy Novas of the world, you can go after those stealth minions from Rogue with 1 health. You can go after a board full of tokens from a Druid in a way that is going to actually help you get across, like to get across the finish line against those decks as well. So you're not only targeting Ramp Pally, but you're also targeting the targets, which is really important when you're looking at a ladder situation instead of a tournament situation, because on a ladder situation, you're going to have a vast difference in what you're facing. Even if Ramp Pally is 30 to 40% of the ladder, that still means 60% of the ladder is not that. But there's a really good chance that some of that 60% is going to be targeting the other 40. So if you can target all of that in one, you're going to do really well for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so glad you brought up like how this matches up against Stealth Row, because I was just like laughing. I'm like, I have so many ways to deal with stealth minions. This is not even close to fair. And in case it's been a while since you played Big Priest, they're running Blood of Gahoons now. You typically want to throw those back because you're like cheating them out with Idol of Yasharaj. Kind of the same thing goes for Vargoth. Vargoth can be such a nasty thing to come off of Yasharaj, and like copies himself if you get him off of the Idol, which is amazing. And that happened to me twice just today. It was like instant concedes by my opponent. But again, like framing it under like this versus Ramp Paladin as like also like a highlighted matchup, you know, very quickly you kind of go, oh, damn, I have Blood of Gahoons in hand. And then Nozdormu comes down from the Ramp Paladin and you're like, oh, all right. I'm going to play
I have Blood of Gahoon in the hand.
Thank you for passing me initiative. I'm going to play a 9-mana minion and then summon a copy of a minion, and you're going to have a bad time. And yeah, so like this just, it feels like cheating, and it seems it's been so long, Joss, since I piloted any sort of Res Priest. And I've basically like straight up boycotted this, like you have Demon Hunter. During kind of the last like year and a half of this archetype's existence, because I just find it so obnoxious.
It's been around. It's been around for a long time. And I think like, again, there's still a lot of flex within the deck lists and stuff. I know one of the things that I actually prefer to play with instead of the Bloods, although Bloods are also really good, but I like just throwing Galakron in even without any invoking happening. Like you don't even need it, because he has a built-in just automatically kill one minion, which is nice if it happens, but it's not necessary. But it gives you just more gas, because if you're, seeing anything that's, trying to target the aggression or, like the control warrior that you mentioned earlier, Garrett, then it's really nice to just have a button that just gives you more stuff to do, like gives them more things they have to deal with.
Yeah, I saw
it may not win you the game, but
I saw a deck
I think
list.
it's a nice to have.
Yeah, I saw a deck list that was running that and Gahoons and Soul Mirror.
Yes,
like a version of this. So it was the Big Priest package, but it kept both Gahoon and added in Galakron and had Soul Mirror, and which is funny because like Soul Mirror is one of the things I get excited to find off of palm reading.
Yes,
depending on the situation. But like the flex that palm reading gives you on top of the fact that it's discounting your spells. But like in terms of mulligan, like I don't know, the strategy's been the same for 2 years. Convincing Infiltrator. Turns out it's a good card. You should probably keep it because it's the most annoying bastard to bring back from any of your resurrect effects. It's just, it's so obnoxious. And then you've got 4 taunt minions with Reborn, with Bone Wraith and Kartut Defender. Kartut just keeps your ass alive in so many scenarios.
I've actually been running Grave Rune as well, which is the one that gives your minions a death rattle of resummon them again.
Oh my,
you put Grave Rune on your card suits, and then you can just not die ever.
We can't be friends anymore.
There's a billion in your res pool, and you just,
Oh, we're done.
It's dirty, Garrett. It's dirty.
We can't be friends anymore. This is over. Like it's been a good run, 402 episodes. Listen, I think we can hang it up now.
I knew there was a line somewhere. Turns out it was Priest.
Because my opinion of you just like, it's over. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm a degenerate. I know.
That's like me telling you, like, Joss, I love Demon Hunter so much. It's the only class I'm ever going to play again. That's the equivalent we've come up with here.
Yeah, friendship over.
Yeah. So but God, for all the crap I'm talking about this deck, and what I was getting at was like, I haven't played an archetype like this archetype, like kind of since it first came on scene. It's been public enemy number 1 for me for so long.
Even when it was out of the meta, you still hated it.
Yeah, what I'm getting at is that it's so easy to pilot. Like, if you haven't played this in a while and you feel like you need to really study up, I think you're going to be okay. If you've got a decent Hearthstone head on your shoulders, like, just go. Just see what happens. Like, mulligan for the Infiltrator, throw your Gahoons back, and spend your mana as it makes sense.
Appropriately.
Yeah. And you're just going to annoy your opponent into submission. It is.
It's so true. Oh my God. And like, now that I'm playing this Priest deck, and I mean, I've been on the receiving end of this Priest deck many times over the last year and a half, and 99% of those games end just with a concede, because it's like, oh my God, I know I'm not going to win this game. I don't want to play out the next 10 minutes. And so I've just conceded against them. And now people are doing that to me. And I'm like, oh, I get it. You don't want to do this. I don't want to do this either.
Here's the strangest part of my personal experience with this deck, which is I think I needed to take as long of a break from Big Priest as an archetype as I did, because I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this deck.
What?
This was fun to play. This was really fun to play.
Snap.
Yeah, I've gone to the dark side, which is hilarious because it's a priest deck. But I mean, this is it feels pretty evil. Like, Idol of Yasharaj, Blood of Gahoons in here, Plague of Death. Like, there ain't nothing about this that makes me go, oh, holy light, let it shine upon you and heal you.
Yeah, this is very like voidy for sure.
Yeah. It's kind of what we need right now with Ramp Paladin on the ladder. It's got a lot of answers for it. It's still a really close matchup. It's still close to 50-50. According to HS Replay, Big Priest ekes out by like a couple percentages in favor of it, but it's so close. It is so close.
They're all so close.
That's the case. Like, everything that we're recommending
that has like an edge on Ramp Pally is a percent here and a percent there. Like, there are no 60-40 matchups against Ramp Pally. Like, it's 50% or better in almost all cases. This deck is insane. Like, I think we'll probably see a nerf pretty quickly, but even if we don't see a nerf to it, there are some things that at least can give you a fighting chance. So if you're looking for kind of head up in this meta, then yeah, Token Druid, Stealth, Weapon Rogue, Guardian Druid, or Big Res Priest, which I think for me, I was playing a lot of Guardian Druid, but I think the Big Priest is, there's some fun moments that I'm sure frustrate the hell out of my opponents, but I'm having fun, so.
And it's also matching up really well against the majority of the other popular decks. I believe its worst matchup is Control Warlock, which is starting to gain some steam. But in terms of what I can gather from aggregate sites like HS3 Play, its popularity is significantly less than the aggro decks that are out there, the Ramp Paladin, your Druids, and it does pretty well in most of those matchups I just rattled off. I am excited to see Control Warlock gaining steam again, because I was so excited about it when Dark Moon came out, and then it kind of immediately fell off the face. But it makes sense because it's still running Ticketus. It's going to be burning cards. It totally makes sense that it kind of ruins the Big Priest's plan. Yeah, but it's not. In my experience, there's not that many of them out there. So yeah, I think it gets our stamp of approval and our official endorsement as the best weapon against Ramp Paladin at the moment. Yep. So go summon some infiltrators and then continue resurrecting them. And then in the distance, you hear me go, I would have been complaining, but I'm doing it too.
Hello, fellow humans.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And so there you have it. We have deck list links to everything we just mentioned in the show notes. If you're not a show notes user, go to amove.tv, look for the blog post for the most recent episode of The Angry Chicken. The exact doc we used to do the show that we look at with our eyeballs right now while we're reading it can be found linked at the bottom. It's a Google Docs link. Sometimes it doesn't behave well with phones, but go check it out. And now let's take some emails and physical mail. Jocelyn.
Hello.
Hello, it's me.
Hello.
Just quickly, do you get my message?
Yep.
Oh.
Hello, brother.
You can send your emails to tacpodcast@gmail.com, or you can literally mail me physical paper. Do you hear this? Is that good ASMR for somebody out there? Paper? Paper bothers you? Okay.
Dude, just that sound of you rubbing it on the mic bothers me. No, stop it. Why?
Okay, fair. I'm not gonna ASMR shame, I guess. So made a throwaway comment on episode 399, like making a joke about, you can contact us there, you can contact us there. If you know where I live, send me a mail. Not that I'm giving out my home address anytime soon, but Rational Pie, longtime listener to the show, supporter of the show, all around awesome dude, did just that and mailed in a physical letter. If you're watching on video, I'm showing it right now, and writes, I feel like I need to do
Dear Martha.
I need to do John Jagger's Dear Martha. Right? Dear pugilistic poultry. No, I'm not going to do that.
No, don't do that.
You mentioned physical letters in episode 399, and I figured that was one way I had yet to write in with or yet to write in with and segment. What better way to celebrate 400 episodes than with a question for the show? It seems fitting to ask about physical goods. There is plenty of Hearthstone merch out there, from mundane hats and tees to the fanciful pop-up book they released. What is your favorite piece of Hearthstone merch they've released, and what is something you'd like them to make? Also, if the sky was the limit, what piece of Angry Chicken merch would you like to see become reality? Maybe an Angry Chicken plush. I mean, yes, please. I will take that. A button that says, job's done when pressed. Congratulations again. There's 2 pages of this. Congratulations again on making it to 400 episodes. Your show has helped to keep me interested in Hearthstone for longer than any other game I've played, and I look forward to hearing you and Joss talk about it for many more episodes to come. Stay angry, the Rational Pie. P.S. If you want my next question by carrier pigeon, please send me one homed to your location. I would have sent one myself, but our birds are terrible flyers. Well, all I have are carrier chickens, so yeah, they're bad flyers as well. All right, so first question was, what is our favorite piece of Hearthstone merch? Let's be horrible consumers for a second.
So actually, mine is probably. Hang on, I have to grab it here. It's underneath some stuff, but yeah, mine is definitely the replica board that they did.
Oh, I have that. Katie surprised me with that for Christmas one year.
If I open it,
but
here,
yours is signed.
It does play. Yeah, mine. I actually got mine signed, and so I have Savit's right here because, like, obviously, and yeah, I think Yang Wu's in here, Brode's in here, Rochelle's in here, Lynn's is in here, Ben Thompson, the Ben Thompson, yeah. Oh,
we're currently being rated by Slissa, so thank you very much, Slissa.
Hi, Slissa.
Welcome, 700 plus wonderful people from Slissa Stream. If you're just tuning in, this is a podcast about Hearthstone, and we are taking a handwritten letter a podcast listener sent in asking us what our favorite piece of Hearthstone merch is, and so we're doing show and tell.
Yeah, so mine is the physical. I can't even remember. Was this from like the first year that Hearthstone came out, or second probably?
That was
because I didn't go to the first BlizzCon, so I think it was the next year.
I want to say 3 years in, because I remember fan-made Hearthstone boxes being a thing for a really long time before there was finally like an official one you could buy. I'm going to need to walk.
It's heavy.
I'm going to need to walk to the Hearthstone in the corner. You can kind of see if you're watching on video. I'll be right back. So talk while I'm unheadphoned.
Yeah, no, Garrett honestly has like the best piece of Hearthstone. Well, I don't even want to call it Hearthstone merch. I don't think it counts because it's not like merch you could buy in the store. I feel like he's like bending the rules a little bit here.
Oh, you're saying I'm bending the rules because listen.
Yeah, because it's not like merch. You can't go buy it in the Blizzard store.
I mean, you could go buy it. It's just on eBay.
Well, you can buy it, but you can't. Yeah, you can't buy it on the store.
It's just
not merch per se.
If there was ever a better time to share the story of this, it is now. So I believe this was like the Hearthstone launch employee gift, if I remember correctly.
I think so.
Is the story behind this. And so this is only given to Blizzard employees, apparently. And it is
unless you have an eBay account.
It is an actual Hearthstone replica. And it does light up. My batteries are currently dead. It is exceptionally well made. The battery compartment on the back is magnetized. And since it is a rock, it is actually like contour cut to look like the rock that it's part of. You can see the dead batteries inside there. And it has this beautiful freaking stand that looks like it came straight out of a Hearthstone cinematic. And the whole thing just...
You know what it looks like? It looks like it's like a trophy for winning a Hearthstone event.
Well, this is the only way I'm ever going to get one of those. So yeah. I just remember at the time thinking this was the coolest damn thing ever. So much so... Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. If I looked on the bottom, it tells me the year. 2013 employee exclusive statue. And
it's numbered too.
Yes, it is numbered. This is apparently so I'm going to get whoever sold this in trouble. 2506 of 4200. I have a feeling if you let this go, you're probably not working there anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was so damn cool. And you know, this show, as I'm not going to go down memory lane too much because we just did that for 400. But this show was a really big deal, like for us and our lives and what it did for us. Like it kind of blew up out of nowhere. And suddenly, like, I had more than 2 Twitter followers. It was really exciting. And I just thought this was the coolest thing. And I had mentioned it to Katie, my wife, one time. And years after the fact, I think this was 2015 or 2016, she found one. She found one, and it was under the Christmas tree. And it's just so rad. And And because my other answer would have been if it had to be things you can actually purchase, it's also the box. So,
Okay. So I stole your answer. Okay, so that makes sense.
I have a lot of video game swag.
It's hard to compete with the box, though.
Yeah.
Like,
it is hard to compete with the box, but I have a lot of video game swag. Either stuff that I've been fortunate enough to have been gifted to me, or have actually gone out of my way to purchase myself. But this is the thing I never thought I would have, and. Is ethically great that I even have it. So,
which really makes it that much better, right?
Yeah, and to me it means like the world
feels a little wrong
that my wife went out of her way to like track one down, find one, and gift it to me, because I was just like, oh, because it was just if I bought this for myself, that'd just be weird. It'd be like, yeah, I bought myself an employee gift that I don't deserve. But yeah, no, this is like without a doubt my single most cherished piece of game swag. So yeah, please do not break into my house and steal it. I would appreciate that. His second question as to if we had sky's the limit, no limitations, what piece of Hearthstone swag or Angry Chicken swag would we want? What do you have an answer, Joss? Does something pop into mind?
I mean, I would like a little Angry Chicken plush. I think he'd be so adorable. It the all confused, sitting on his butt with his feet out. That's the Angry Chicken dude I want. But I don't know. It'd be cool to be a bobblehead, like Garrett Joss bobblehead.
Oh my god! I would love a bobblehead. That'd be sick. I just finished watching The Office for the first time ever, which has some famous bobbleheads in that show.
Yes, yep.
As part of the lore of The Office.
Yep.
Yeah, I would. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. I love our intro music so very much, which is part of the reasons it's never changed. There's been different mixes with different sound effects dropped in over the course of the show, and now we have Ben Brode as the announcer. But the music is something that came on really early. We decided on to do the show, and I immediately called up my buddy Brian, who does the music for all of the podcasts, and was like, "Hey man, I sent him the Hearthstone track, the main Hearthstone music, and I was like, "Hey dude, can you make this sound like garage pop punk?" And I sent him a Dopamines track. If anyone's familiar with the band, the Dopamines, I was like, I want that kind of dirty, crunchy guitar, but the Hearthstone track. And 2 days later, he's like, "Hey, what do you think of this? It's a work in progress." And I was just, that's what we still use to this day. I was like, dude, this is perfect. You nailed it. And so if I could have anything, I would want an Angry Chicken guitar.
Oh wow! I thought you were gonna go with soundtrack.
No, sky's the limit. No, I want a freaking the Angry Chicken signature guitar, custom carved, the Angry Chicken art, out of wood as the body of the guitar. Some Hearthstone swirls in there.
That is definitely a Garrett specific swag piece, because I'd be like, what do I do with this?
I want that Lich King helm they're about to start selling for BlizzCon. I want it to be oh my god, that is way too expensive, but I really want it. That's what I want.
That level of swag.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it would be fun to go off your whole intro music thing. It'd be fun to just have a soundboard. What if you just had a little board, one of the Stream Decks. Just like the Stream Deck, but every time you push it, it just had
clips of us,
the intro music and our little drops and stuff.
Yeah,
fun.
Yeah. If only I had a soundboard with Jocelyn, so I could make Joss say whatever I want.
Woo, Hearthstone.
And
cluck.
All right, now I want the plush to be a pull string doll, and I just want it to just
cluck
every time you do the pull string. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Okay, that's actually really good. I want to combine those two ideas. I'm changing my mind. I want an Angry Chicken plush that every time you pull it, it says one of 8 phrases.
That'd be good. I'd be into that.
Yep.
Let's do it. Let's make it a reality. That was
we've got to have 8 phrases by now at least, right?
Yeah. Since I never made a board of myself, because that's weird. I don't know what my catchphrases are. I feel like I say fantastic a lot. That's it.
You also say whatever the case is.
Whatever the case is, it's better than going, shut up, I'm changing the subject. Because that is what it's replacing.
I'm surprised you haven't said that to me like every episode through the entire run of the show. Just shut up now, I'm changing the subject.
Okay, all right. Next week,
Hoodles.
Next week, I'm going to abruptly change subjects by saying, shut up, I'm changing the subject, and I'm not going to address it. And listeners right now, I want you to note this so that when people are blowing me up on Twitter saying I'm a dick, that you're like, you let them in on the joke. But I'm not going to let them in on the joke. I'm not going to let them in on the joke. Anywho, that's another one. Yeah, I do say anywho a lot.
Yeah. Anywho.
Send your Garrett soundbite suggestions to tacpodcast@gmail.com. But Pi, thank you so much for the letter. I'll have to get back to you on the carrier pigeon. So thank you for being a fan for so long, man. And thank you for sending a physical letter. It literally got here on the day we recorded the 400th episode. I was putting together the Discord call, and Katie's like, hey, mail's here. You got like what looks like a handwritten letter, because like even the envelope was like, I'm like, dude, it's the day of the 400th episode. How did you time this so perfectly? It was really impressive.
Yeah, and then it went way too long.
Yeah. So, anywho, whatever the case, King Dupless wrote in through normal means, which is email or Discord. King Dupless says, hello, unprepared fowls.
Accurate.
Yes, especially since it's about Demon Hunter. With Demon Hunter being almost a year old, I thought now would be the best time to ask this question. Now that we've seen Demon Hunter's launch and first year of cards, what lessons do you think need to be learned or addressed for when they are building a full classic core basic set for the class after seeing how it's turned out in its first year? And a follow-up question, as I know Joss's lesson is delete the class from the game when they hopefully get around to another new class in Death Knight or Monk. Do you think they will treat them the same way with both style/number of cards released for them in their first year? And also, do you think they will shoot high on the power scale again for the whole first year for them as well? Or do you think they're going to scale them back, seeing with how they were way overshot on Demon Hunter? That's a lot of questions, King Dupless. But
yeah.
in terms of the, how they're going to reconcile Demon Hunter with whatever they're about to do with the next standard rotation and how that affects the core and the basic set and yada, yada, yada. I don't think they need to be too concerned because, they've really reined the power in. Like, the whole last year has just been chipping away at the swole-ass Illidan.
Yeah, and I think that looking at just the core of the class and like trying to build them up to the point that they're at with the other classes so that they're all kind of around the same level. I think that they actually did an okay job. I think that the stuff that's going to stick around with Demon Hunter in the long term is okay. I think it's at the right level. I think that there was just a lot of stuff that they introduced alongside Demon Hunter. Plus, Demon Hunter also, just because they didn't have as many cards, they got more cards in every expansion, right? So I think there was maybe some lessons to be learned. I almost would want to see if they did another class, if it was just totally separate from the expansions or something. I don't know. Just be like, hey, here's the new class. It's coming, like whether it's on rotation or not, just be like, we're releasing a class separate from everything else. Because I think that was another problem with the Demon Hunter release specifically. And like the launch is like, it was Ashes of Outland. Like Ashes of Outland was Demon Hunter. And then if the class doesn't land properly, or if the class is as Demon Hunter was, if the class is way overpowered, then you kind of like sour your entire expansion experience. So I wish that they had just broken Demon Hunter off and like said, okay, here, we're launching this into the existing environment. Here are all the cards to catch it up to where it needs to be. And then it doesn't impact directly any of the other stuff happening in a given Hearthstone year. So you still get your expansions, your mini expansions. They get all the same number of cards and same stuff as everybody else. And they're just like more integrated from the get-go if they've got their own private launch at some other time, however they want to parcel that into the year.
Yeah, I'm more or less disagree with all of that. I think like I'm so focused. I
Did you
think
say agree or disagree?
I agree. I think those are all good points.
I couldn't tell what you said.
The simplest
it's either
answer,
really nice or really mean.
Sorry, I was trying to like think of my response to you while also getting into my answer because like I'm trying to simplify it in my head. And I think to me it's like just like I don't mean this to be a dig, but succeed at the class identity because it didn't feel like Demon Hunter had one beside be good at everything.
Yeah, do everything. And I think that was partly because they wanted it to be powerful and impactful because it's the first time they did a new class since Hearthstone's launch, right? Like it was a big deal. And I think they wanted it to be that. They just went a little bit too far, especially right out the gate. So I 100% agree with that, Garrett.
Yeah. And I really don't mean that as a dig. Like I'm sure that they like had an idea for the class identity and for it to have some weaknesses and whatnot, but it just came out the gate overcooked, in a good way, I guess. Usually things come out undercooked or overcooked, and you're unhappy as someone about to eat an overcooked piece of meat. But yeah, that's kind of just my thought there is like really work on that class identity, like have clearly defined strengths and clearly defined weaknesses, because Demon Hunter seemed to really be kind of lacking that. And still to a certain degree, I kind of look at it, I go, rogue, hard Demon Hunter. Like it just feels like Demon Hunter, but a lot harder to execute correctly. Like it's just like rogue from when you're bored, winning in too straightforward a fashion as a Demon Hunter. So yeah, that's kind of all my thoughts there. But I do think it's overall in a good place. I still think they can just amass a little bit too much weapon damage for a class that I really like. My one hope at this point, if I have one request for like a card to go away, because I still think it's a little toxic in my opinion, it's like get rid of Kane's Sun Fury. Like, they got charge back, and the charge card makes it so like all friendly attacks ignore taunt. What? Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still a sore spot for me.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And I think that, again, like, I know you guys think that, okay. You rightly think, because I've been so hyperbolic on the show about how much I hate Demon Hunter, that you think that the lesson would be deleted from the game. And it's not necessarily true, because I do want to see them iterate, make new classes, do fun stuff, do different stuff. And I think that Demon Hunter and any future classes in the game can be done correctly. I think it was just that the weaknesses, though they existed in the class, didn't feel like they mattered because they weren't weak enough. It's like they were given weaknesses as a class, but then cards that shored up all their weaknesses in ways that it really shouldn't have, right? And those are cards that are going to rotate through eventually, and like they wanted a strong launch and blah 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 blah, all the stuff I said earlier. But I think the lesson to learn is, like Garrett said with the class identity, is make sure that they have something they're not good at, because Demon Hunters were just good at everything. So they need to make sure that when you go play the class, that you actually, can lose and, not pull wins out of nowhere all the time. So if they do end up giving us Death Knights or Monks or some other new class that we haven't got in Warcraft, like something that is purely Hearthstone, like if we get to be an innkeeper, or if we get to be a bard, or like something cool that doesn't exist in Warcraft but they're going to build for Hearthstone, I just want to see them make it strong and playable, but because it's fun and new, not just because it's the way to play Hearthstone if you want to win.
Agree entirely. And now, would you like to move into trivia?
Sure.
Okay, because this was another holdover from 400, because we were hanging out with some of my favorite damn people, not only in Hearthstone, but just like favorite people. It was rad getting to hang out with everyone. So that show went long. The show went real long. So we another one of our lovely longtime listeners, Hachikumo, back on episode 300, sent in angry chicken trivia for us to face off with, and it was real fun. Although, if I remember correctly, I had to drive it. I didn't get to participate. This time I get to participate. And so this will be somewhat janky because you and I need to like also keep score against each other while we do this in real time and also drive it. So if you don't have a notepad open.
Well, that's why we're doing it at the end of the show so that, we can, anyone who doesn't want to listen to us stumble through trivia can we'll see you next week.
Oh, I think this is going to be very entertaining. I think it's going to be very, very, very entertaining. But
all right, I have a notepad.
Wonderful. I have a digital notepad courtesy of Bill Gates. So yeah, we have 400 Celebration Trivia. It's only 2 episodes late, and courtesy of Hachikumo. And so there's a few rounds, Joss, and we're starting with I think the one that's going to hitch us up the most. If I'm to be honest, I think this one's going to throw us the most curveballs. So, all right, you and I versus each other. Garrett versus Jocelyn. Hachikumo rates. The rules are simple. Whoever gets more points in the end wins. It's not golf, Jocelyn. It's not golf. They're not judges. This is not subjective. This is hard math. All right?
It's okay. In the end, chat room's going to tell me I win anyway.
There are 3 rounds of trivia. First round is show titles. A walk down memory lane. The second round is whose line was it? And which guest was it that said the line? Man. And the third round is which card were we talking about?
Oh, God.
I love the idea of feeling stupid by not remembering something I said.
Yeah, right. And not only that, but we're going to have to remember the names of cards, which we may or may not have been right about in card reviews. And oh, man, this is going to be bad.
Yep. All right. So I'm typing Garrett. I'm typing Josh for point reasons over in a notepad over here. Don't have a way to display them easily on screen. So here we go. Also, Joss goes first. Garrett gets a coin, apparently. I get the coin, I guess. Do I get to do anything with the coin? Doesn't look like
Probably not.
I get to just sit there and look at it. Well, at least my coin looks different now, thanks to rewards track. Round 1. Each person is presented with 6 show titles. The goal is to order them from old to new. A total of 5 points available. Which one is the earliest? If answered correctly, get a point. If incorrect, the correct answer is given. So you guess in the order that you think they rolled out in, but you guess one at a time, and I tell you kind of as you go if you're right or wrong. And
okay, all right, okay, got it.
So then the correct, so it'll also kind of self remove and narrow the pool.
Right.
So if you're rad, if you get it correct, otherwise too bad. So
I might actually get some points because eventually it's going to be down to a 50-50, right? So there's a chance.
That's the thing is I don't, total of 5 points is possible, but there's 6 because the last answer is going to be a given.
Is a gimme.
Yeah. So,
but I could guess the 5th one right though.
Yes, you could. That's the 50-50. And so, if I have my answer key right here, you go first. Yeah, you go first. So round 1, we have, these are our options for show titles. Spare Bros, Gold Grubber is my side piece. Shout out Slissa.
That's a Slissa show.
That is 100% a Slissa show. Followed by Garrett Goes Streaking.
I don't even remember when or how we would have come up with that title. Oh, Win Streaking. Win Streaking.
What were you thinking? What were you thinking? I know we all party hard at BlizzCon, but I remember
keeping your clothes on.
I remember safely making into bed clothes all of the nights I've been at BlizzCon. The Snowball meta, Tomb Raider, and Pour One Out for Pogos.
Oh man. Okay.
So which one do you think was first?
So I think it's probably Gold Grubber is pretty recent. Pogos is pretty recent. I'm gonna say Tomb Raider is the oldest.
That is incorrect, unfortunately.
No!
That is incorrect. So you're gonna get a chicken bok. Sorry, that is wrong.
Oh man,
that is wrong. I'm gonna use your soundbite of Woo Hearthstone if we get it right. Just FYI.
Okay.
So, Bach for wrong, Woo Hearthstone for if you're right. So it was actually Spare Bros. It was the first option.
Oh, I was going back and forth between those two, and I was like, no, it's definitely gonna be okay. Well then, okay, so Spare Bros was the oldest. I'm gonna say Tomb Raider is second.
You are correct.
Yes.
Hearthstone. Woo, Hearthstone.
Ooh, Hearthstone.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that's 1 point for Jocelyn. 0 points for me. All right. All right. So it was Spare Bros was first. Tomb Raider was second. What do you think was third? Then I'm going to
say Garrett Goes Streaking.
Oh, you nailed it.
Yes.
Woo, Hearthstone.
I need to play the soundbite. And although you can't do this back for me. So
you can play it for yourself.
All right. So you get 2 points. All right. What do you think came after Garrett Goes Streaking?
Then I think Gold Grubber is my side piece.
Oh my God.
Woo, Hearthstone.
All right.
Ooh, yes. 3
points for Joss.
Then I'm going to say, okay. So then what I have left, or went out for Pogos and the Snowball meta, right?
Those are the two. Yes. You're 50-50.
Okay. I'm going to say
Gold Grubber is my side piece.
Snowball meta.
You nailed it.
Yes.
Woo, Hearthstone.
All right, you got 4 out of 5 points, Joss. Not bad. Yeah, so the correct order was Spare Bros, Tomb Raider, Garrett Goes Streaking, Gold Grubber is my side piece, the Snowball meta, and Pour One Out for Pogos.
Oh, man, guys. I feel so good right now. I didn't think I was going to get any.
Yeah, nailed it. Almost. All right.
Almost, so close.
It is my turn, Joss.
All right, so for question 2 here, Garrett, what came first? Was it how many Lucent Barks, Bye Bye Tyrion, Demon Nuts, Scuttlebutt Territory? They came for our secret package. No, passage! 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 Or a duh with dragons?
I would like to object. I think you got an easier round of questions because there were some really obvious Battlegrounds titles in yours. I don't think any of these are Battlegrounds titles.
At least 2 of them are Battlegrounds titles.
Is Demon Nuts Battlegrounds title? Is that it? Oh, might be.
And Bye Bye Tyrion.
Yeah, you're right.
Duh with Dragons and Bye Bye Tyrion were Battleground specific.
I don't think a Duh with Dragons was Battleground specific. I thought it was Descent of Dragons.
Well, you're gonna have to figure that out.
Shit. Oh man, I don't know. I'm gonna say Scuttlebutt Territory is first.
It was not. First was how many Lucent Barks? It was even first in the list.
Oh, for crying out loud, Hachikumo, I will find you once COVID is over, and I will buy you a beer because you're a wonderful person. So the first one was how many Lucent Barks?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna fail this so badly. Was Scuttlebutt Territory second?
Yes, Scuttlebutt Territory is second.
Hearthstone.
You got a point.
All right, 1 point. So Scuttlebutt Territory was second. How many Lucent Barks was first? I'm gonna go with
It's hard, isn't it?
This is hard. I'm gonna go with a Duh with Dragons.
Yes, that is correct.
Woo, Hearthstone.
Yeah. All right. So now I'm down to Bye Bye Tyrion, Demon Nuts. They came for our secret passage, right? That's what I have left?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was going to correct you, and I was like, no, passage is right.
Passage, yes.
Passage. Yeah, passage.
Oh, damn. Is the next one they came for our secret passage?
It is not. It is not. The next one was Demon Nuts.
Damn. Was the following one they came for our secret passage?
It wasn't. The next one was Bye Bye Tyrion, which means the last one was they came for our secret passage. But it's okay. You got get 2 points.
I couldn't remember Tyrion's change in regards to the secret passage change. I could not remember which came first.
Apparently, a duh with dragons was about the dragon package, not actually about their appearance in Battlegrounds. So
I was correct.
Yeah,
Which is
I
nice,
thought it was
because I was not correct about a lot of other things. All right,
It's
so
okay though.
I believe that does it for round 1. Yep, we're into round 2, which means at the moment, Joss, you are ahead by double, 4-2.
Yes.
Joss. All right, round 2. This is how this works. A statement is given. We need to figure out which guest on the show said it, and there's 2 points for each correct answer. Don't let me forget that it's 2 points.
Okay.
So like an example, I build my own fires. Your options are 1, Garrett, 2, Joss, 3, Jon Snow, 4, that's admirable. And the correct answer is that's admirable on this example version.
Although I'm sure Jon Snow also probably said that at some point in time.
I build my own fires.
Yeah. See, very Jon Snowish.
All right. So quote 1 to Jocelyn. Quote
Oh,
1
me. Okay.
to Jocelyn. I think the coolest change I've heard to him is that Barnes summon a 1/1 actor. I don't think that Barnes itself is what is degenerate in Big Priest. I think Big Priest is what is degenerate in Big Priest. I went to
This is very topical.
is it, or has Big Priest been around for my entire life at this point?
Right.
The quote continues, I went to prove a point. I did a whole week of Big Priest. I went 24 wins where only 3 games I played Barnes. Who said this? Was it Deck
okay.
Tech? Was it Dexter? Was it Nicolina? Or was it Saucy Mailman?
Okay, so I'm pretty sure it wasn't Dexter. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Nicolina. I don't think it was. Oh, maybe it was Deck Tech. I wasn't on the show with Saucy Mailman, so I feel disadvantaged.
Was it Deck Tech or was it Saucy Mailman?
I don't know. I feel like I have to flip a coin. Oh my God. Okay.
I mean, there's nothing in the rules saying you can't flip a coin.
Right. Okay. I think. Okay. I'm gonna go with Saucy Mailman because this quote doesn't really ring a bell. So I'm going to assume it was an episode I wasn't on. So I'm gonna go with option 4.
Woo, Hearthstone.
You are correct.
Yes!
2 points to Jocelyn, bringing you up to 6. All right. All right, Joss, what's my quote to decipher?
All right. I started with Pokemon when I was really young, and then I actually played Yu-Gi-Oh! For about 10 years. I started playing Hearthstone in open beta. It was the coolest thing ever because whenever I wanted to play another person, I could. A few years later, I was commentating online just because it was fun, and I was a broadcast major, so I figured it could be a good experience. Was that Vigil, Cora, Regis Kilbin, or Mike Donay?
That was Cora.
That was Cora. You got an easy one.
Again, you had like 3 titles that were all obviously Battlegrounds. One of them was also Battlegrounds with Slissa, which also like really narrows in when shit happened. So I don't want to hear it. I'm taking my 2 points. Garrett goes
Fair
up to
enough.
4. Joss is still ahead at 6. I don't know why I'm talking about myself in the third person. All right, Joss,
It's a quiz show.
you're up again. Quote 3 is
Okay.
as follows. I actually came into Hearthstone Battlegrounds because I enjoy the auto chess experience in general. When I first looked at the trailer, I was like, a bit too simple, a bit too RNG. This isn't going to last that long. Then, within 2 games, I become full-fledged addicted, even though you shouldn't say the word. It does a really good job to make you feel like you are in control and enough RNG elements in it to make it exciting. Was this Dave Kosak, Peter Whalen, Trixler, or Ridiculous Hat?
I'm like 99.9% sure this was Trixler.
Is that your answer?
Yes.
Woo, Hearthstone.
Oh, good. Oh, you made me think I was wrong. Oh, Garrett, you sneaky, tricky little you.
You made a statement, not a declaration. You made a statement.
You're like,
not
are
a
you sure
declaration.
that's what you want to say?
Saying I'm 99% sure it's this. My response in any other scenario would have been, so is that what it is? If I was cutting a wire on a... If I was in an episode of 24 and I had to cut the wire to save everybody from an explosive device, and you're like, I'm 99% sure it's the red wire, I would go, is that what it is, before I potentially murder us all? So, yeah.
Fair enough. I had this like teeny tiny little itch in the back of my head that maybe it was Ridiculous Hat, but
I have the answer in front of me, and I kind of thought it might be Ridiculous Hat.
Right? Okay.
All right. So I am up next. Quote 4. What is the quote?
All right. I was a programmer before becoming a designer, so I still had an itch to write some code occasionally, albeit very rusty, not up to par with the actual programmers. Huge props to them. I cannot hold a candle to them, but I took a stab at it. Was this Deck Tech, Trixler, Mike Dene, or Celestalon?
Damn it. It's been so long since I had Mike Dene on. And it's been so long since we talked to Celestalon and stayed on the subject of Hearthstone for a long period of time. There's no way this is Deck Tech or Trixler.
Right? Yeah. I feel like those are kind of just gimmies, right?
I really don't know if it's Dene or Celestalon. I'm potentially going to shoot myself in the foot here and say... Shit. Oh, God. Is it Celestalon?
Yes, it is Celestalon. It was in our Zephyrus interview is when he was talking about this.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Were you calling someone on the phone? Are you doing a lifeline?
What?
You just had your phone up to your ear.
No, I had a pen.
Oh, the way you were holding it looked like side profile of a phone. Oh, okay. Like,
no, I was holding a pen and also my earbud was falling out.
I thought you were just like calling someone like, hey, Chad, did you say this? It's not my question, but I want to know. All right, wonderful. So 8-6 in favor of Joss. I'm catching up to you, though. Catching up to you. All right. Quote 5. This is you, right? We're back to you? Yes. I have an answer for this. That makes sense. All right. This quote is, I was like the super casual back then. The epitome of the casual Hearthstone player was me from 2015 to 2017. Later, I was introduced to Ali Straza's stream, and I just adored her and wanted to be her. She was kind of my inspiration to get going and trying and dreaming. Was this Nicolina, Dexter, Slissa, or Cora?
I had basically the same feelings about her, so this was Slissa.
Ooh, Hearthstone.
You got an easy one.
I remember her saying this, and I was like, I just adore you, and I feel all these things you felt for Allie, but for you. Yeah, so that was Slissa. That was an easy one.
Yeah. All right. So what's my next quote to decipher?
I got into Hearthstone, I guess 5 or 6 years ago, a long time ago, back in the old days, using this to justify my presence on this podcast. MTG is my background. I'm a card gamer, not a Blizzard gamer to begin with. I got a job with a major motion picture exhibitor. That is all nights and weekends. For a while, I didn't have a lot that I could do, and then Hearthstone came out. I'll just invest in this and see where it goes. Was that Trixler, Saucy Mailman, Ridiculous Hat, or Deck Tech?
I like that you said Saucy Mailmen as if that's the name of a band. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Saucy Mailmen. MTG is my background. I'm a card gamer, not a Blizzard gamer to begin with, so that takes Trixler off the list. Got a job with a major motion picture exhibitor. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm the dumbest human being alive. This has to be Ridiculous Hat.
Yeah, it's Ridiculous Hat.
Ooh, Hearthstone.
Like, I missed the exhibitor. I'm like, who's working in motion pictures?
It's like, oh, he means the theater.
I was really hung up on that. All right, awesome. I go up to 8. You were at 10. You're still ahead, Jocelyn. All right, are you ready for round 3?
I don't know if anyone's ready for this.
Guess the card. So same style as last time, which was over 100 episodes again. ago. If you don't remember episode
Wow.
300, but this was a thing. 4 quotes from the show will be given. Figure out which card is being reviewed. 4 points for a correct guess with 1 hint, 3 points with 2 hints, 2 points with 3 hints, and 1 with 4 hints. Cards are in chronological order, starting in Rise of Shadows and ending with Dark
Oh my
Moon Fate.
God. Rise of Shadows was so long ago.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are you ready, Joss, for card 1? All right. The first quote, first hint is, I mean, this is very powerful once I read the disclaimer. And this was me that said that.
I don't know. Like, that is such a generic Garrett line when we're doing cards.
I would like to point out, I have looked through all of these questions, and the first line are pretty much bastards, like every single one of them. It's just like, this could be about anything.
I was like, yeah, this could be literally anything.
I could be talking about a car. Yeah, this is very powerful once I read the disclaimer.
I feel like I'm not going to get any of these. This is giving me so much stress.
You could, I mean, you might as well take a guess because by the rules, there's no penalty for being wrong. So
I can't even think of cards from Rise of Shadows off the top of my head. Like, that's how, like,
if you want to Google the full
know,
set in the background, go nuts. I'm not going to hold that against you because I am also god awful with card names.
I don't know. I think it was Schemes, right? Was this expansion was Schemes? So Lazul Scheme.
That is incorrect. All right, so we're going to hint number 2. I love this. I love this freaking card. I want to marry it. That was me.
Oh, okay. Cards Garrett. Okay, I'm gonna have to look up the set. I honestly, like, I can't remember like all of the cards from all of everything.
I'm also going back to the rules real quick while you think about this because I'm trying to remember the point.
Okay.
Oh, it's 4 3 2 1. Okay, on
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
points.
So
Okay.
okay. Who would you want to marry? I feel like this is gonna be a fun game.
This is now just going to turn into Jocelyn trying to figure out what I'm thirsty for.
Yeah. I'm literally like, okay, who's got the most boobs in all these cards? Okay. So I'm going to say, very powerful with a disclaimer that Garrett freaking loves. Oh man. Oh, what would happen to, okay, you know what? I'm going to just say Archivist Elysiana, and I'm just going to go with that. I don't think that's right, but yeah.
All right. Third hint. I imagine they are piggybacking this off the way that battle cries are coded. This was also me. I had thoughts on this card.
Apparently. Battle cries are coded. Oh my God.
I said it was very powerful once I read the disclaimer. I said, I love this. I love this freaking card. I want to marry it. I said, I imagine they are piggybacking this off the way that battle cries are coded.
Oh my God. How battle cries are coded. That was after Swamp Queen Hagatha?
Woo! Hearthstone.
You got it right.
I was expecting a chicken.
That was Swamp Queen Hagatha. 7 mana, 5/5, legendary shaman minion, battle cry at a 5/5 horror to your hand. Teach it to shaman spells.
Oh man, yeah. Without that battle cry hint, I would have. No.
Yeah. I would give you a hard
That was
time being
hard.
like, would you have gotten it if you weren't looking at the set? But I'm going to look at the set for
Yeah,
my
no.
question.
Look at the set, dude. Because honestly, like, I don't remember like every name of every Hearthstone card from the past 2 years.
I can't remember the name of half the cards we just talked about in Big Priest, so you know it's all right. The
Right.
final hint would have
Okay.
been because they also cast in that order, which could potentially be important, which was a Joss quote. All right, Joss.
Yay! I made it in. I had Swamp Queen thoughts.
What is my first hint?
Okay, so you're right. These first ones are bad. If this was any cheaper, it'd be super broken. That was me. I said that.
If this is any cheaper, it'd be super broken, and we're probably still on Rise of Shadows.
I would say so.
Oh, that's the thing too. Even like looking at sets, like, is it an upside? Because am I looking at the right set?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just hard pass on this. I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you made me make a guess.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm looking at the right set at this point. Like,
I know. At least I had a set to go from. You're
yeah.
true.
All right. So what's the second?
You're
hint?
true.
What's the second? hint?
The second one is a Garrett quote. I want someone to draw a comic now of Caligos just knocking on your door, and he just goes, "Hey, you want to do something awesome?"
Caligos. I'm sorry. I have to look up Caligos real quick because it clearly wasn't Caligos.
Well, I would think that in either case that it wouldn't be like, here's the name of the card that it is.
I just want someone to draw a comic now. Caligos going, just knocking on your door. Oh wait, hold on. All right, hold on. I have a thought. Is it the second Malagos aspect of magic?
It is not.
Shit. Okay. What's my third hint?
This is another Joss coat. Joss coat. What? Quote. Joss quote. I can still talk. You still get 2 other cards to choose from. What are the chances that all 3 are awful?
Now I really think it's Malagos aspect of magic, but because that was the discover and upgraded mage spell, right?
It is not Malagos.
Well, clearly.
Also, did you find Caligos? Caligos was the your first spell each turn costs 0. Battle cry is discover a spell. 10 mana for 12.
Is it just Caligos?
It's not Caligos. It's not Caligos. And it's not Malagos. There's no ghosting.
All right, I have no friggin' idea, so I'm taking it to the fourth and final hint.
All right. So the final hint for this card is Khadgar has promise. There's a lot of room for them to expand upon this and add cards that work with Khadgar. From Garrett.
I'm trying to remember even what set Khadgar was initially from. So that was Rise of Shadows.
Khadgar was in Rise of Shadows. Yeah.
All right.
And same as his Battlegrounds, obviously, is your card summon minions, summon twice as many.
So it was Rise of Shadows. I should have had the whole damn set open this whole time. Just trying to go from memory because I wasn't even sure what set it was from. Oh, all right. Just give me a minute. I went quickly. I went too quickly through things. Damn it, Caligos is even in there. So there's Caligos. I'm gonna just do something awesome. Khadgar. It's got to be Mage, right? It's got to be Mage. You still get 2 other cards to choose from. What are the chances all 3 are awful? Jeez, but there's no more discover. It's not. I really don't know. Magic trick?
Oh, so close. It was power of creation was the correct answer.
Oh, damn it. That is a discover. I'm an idiot. I should
Summon
have
2
figured that
copies
out.
of it.
Yep.
So yeah, it was Caligos because you could discover a spell, so you could discover power of creation. Khadgar because when you chose the 6-cost minion, Khadgar would give you 4 instead of What? Knowing the answer, it's like, oh yeah, I bet we did say all of that. But yeah, That was rough.
You got me. I'm mad about power creation. Had I had the setup the whole time, I think I would have gotten there, but I was panicking at the end and my eyes were just darting like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. All right, Jess, are you ready for your next card?
No.
First hints. Too bad.
Okay.
Shut up. I'm changing the subject. They don't even have to heal now because they aren't even taking damage. That was a Joss quote. They don't even have to heal now because they aren't even taking damage.
Okay. I have thoughts. I feel like that's got to be a rogue thing, right? But I don't see anything about being immune as rogue, so maybe it's a warrior thing. Or maybe, what if it's a warlock thing? Oh, damn, man, there's so many things this could be.
Do you want to?
They don't even have to heal now because they aren't even taking damage. Oh, maybe that is a warlock thing. Damn. Oh, my God. Oh, Joss, why you're so smart but so vague?
Do you want your next hint?
Yeah, I think you better give me the next one.
All right, hint number 2. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. What just happened? Oh, I went back.
I won't look.
No, I went back. It's all right. You were looking at the wrong thing if you were. All right, your second hint. All right, this is a Raven quote. So Raven said this.
Okay.
Said the only way it doesn't get played is if you will prioritize Pharaoh Cat.
Okay.
So there's a class identifier for you.
Okay, so wait. Okay. So ancient blades. Where did ancient blades come through? We're not in Galacrond yet. Wait, where did I'm trying to remember how rogues changed their hero power to ancient blades, because that's what it is, and I don't remember. This is so stressful. All
right.
Oh, right. It was the quest. No, wait. It was the quest. It was the quest. Bizarre burglary. It was the quest.
I feel like that's kind of cheating. I take issue with this now.
Why? You said I could look at the set. You said.
All right. I'm going to start timing you from now on. I'm giving you like 30 seconds.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm giving you like 30 seconds. All right, you were
But
correct.
don't forget to give me my points, too.
Oh, yeah. You're up to 15 now because that was 3 points. You were at 12. What is happening with... Oh, no, it's just... Wait, did that go from... Okay. Where? I keep going back. My PDF reader is screwing up on me. Yeah, it's totally possible and relatively easy, but there are just better things to do, stronger things you could be doing. That was me, and I wonder if it is actually a sideways tech towards weapon hate. Was a Raven quote. So, what is my first hint for the next card?
Okay, so I actually don't know how I laughed, so that was probably a terrible Joss laugh, but
It's pretty on brand for me.
Literally the quote is Joss laughs, it's just more laughs. This card, laughing still, this card is freaking adorable. And apparently Hachikumo says that there are 2 questions from each set, so
which set are we on now?
This is your Saviors of Uldum card.
Okay, I
should give you the same advantage.
Yeah, I need to go to Saviors of Uldum then.
To be fair, though, I did know it was a rogue card. I just didn't know which. But I figured rogue out before Pharaoh Cats.
Saviors of Uldum.
Yes,
Cute card.
Saviors of Uldum with something that is hilariously adorable to me.
I just need to scan art real quick then.
Right?
But I'm trying to do it briefly. Oh geez. Saviors of Uldum, and it's cute.
Freaking adorable, Garrett.
Freaking
not just
adorable.
Cute.
Okay, freaking adorable makes me feel like it's probably Plague of Murlocs.
It is not Plague of Murlocs.
Ooh. All right. What's my next hint? Why are you going backwards, you piece of junk PDF reader? Okay. Next hint.
Is this cutest card of the expansion? Vigil. The theme is just so grown cute. This is on another level. So a combo Vigil and Garrett quote.
Oh my God. I am struggling with this one. Saviors of Oldham was not a cute set.
It really wasn't. There was a lot of it was very serious mummy obelisk sand type stuff.
Yeah. Mermy?
It was not Mermy.
Shit. All right, next hint.
I'm going to get my quest complete so fast. Got 4 death rattle completions off a single slot in your deck from Garrett.
4 death rattle completions off a single slot. Why does he feel like it's toxic reinforcements, but that wasn't Saviors of Oldham? What the heck? What? Are we sure? Are we sure this was Saviors of Oldham?
I am looking at it right now. It's definitely Saviors of Oldham.
Oh my God.
Although leper gnomes are adorable. They just want hugs.
I am at such a loss here. I'm trying to think of death rattle. I'm going to get my quest complete so fast. Got 4 death rattle completions off a single slot in your deck. I hate Past Me. Past Me is a dick.
Yep.
Making mummies?
Not making mummies.
Final bullshit hint.
All right.
Wait,
Oh.
Shit. I keep going back. I don't know why it's doing this. All right.
Okay. Reborn and Death Rattle together is just so powerful.
Oh my God, it's Grand Mummy.
It is Grand Mummy. Yay!
Oh wait, yeah, it's still whatever. 1 point. I'm at 9. You're at 15. F this.
You were so close. You said mummy things
right.
every time. And I was like,
Grand Mummy is hideous. That is not a cute card.
it's adorable.
Past Joss is objectively incorrect.
No, she's carrying a little baby mummy and walking with these 2 other little mummy kids. I mean, it's adorable. It's
They
also
have
kind of
literal
creepy.
stink fumes coming off of their heads. I can smell this card. Ooh.
I don't think it's stink fumes. Isn't that incense? Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's Reborn. It's got Death Rattle. I'm an idiot. All right. Joss, are you ready to just get such a lead? There's no way for me to come back.
Maybe.
Are you ready? All right, your first hint is, I think we have to talk about Valdris first. And this was a Joss quote.
Oh, no. I don't even remember who or what Valdris does. So I am going to say I have no idea.
All right. Hint number 2. I agree that this is not a game-winning play at stage, unlike Spiteful Summoner deck, which was a Regis.
Oh,
quote.
man. I loved Spiteful Summoners.
Yeah.
But would I been... were Spiteful Summoners still in? I guess so.
I agree that this is not a game-winning play at stage, unlike Spiteful Summoner deck. And you wanted to talk about Valdris first.
Yeah. Oh, man. I don't even remember.
Hearthstone cards.
I know.
They're hard
Okay,
to
so...
remember.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so I have to talk about... wasn't there something Warlocks did where they summoned the hand size? Or was that came later? Oh no, Abyssal Summoner! Abyssal Summoner! Summon a demon with taunt and say yes!
All right. I actually don't think I can win at this point.
I was like, I did have to look up Valdris though, because I did not remember which legendary that was, but.
All right. Card 6. What is my first hint as you just run away with it, Joss?
So this card wins my favorite name of the set. Do you remember what your favorite name from Descent of Dragons was?
I'll tell you what my favorite name isn't right now, Hachikumo.
Oh man.
I have no freaking clue.
What
the shit am I supposed to go off of that? Like, oh my God.
It's got to be something super punny, right?
Can I get a set? Can I get a set, please? Is this still, we're not still on Saviors, are we? Are we still on Saviors?
Descent of Dragons. Descent of Dragons.
Okay, I need to switch to Descent of
I mean, I have one potential guess, but it's not my question.
My favorite name of the set. Reinforcements.
Ooh. It is not reinforcements. I forgot I had the answers.
What is my second hint?
Wild is going to be so fun. I said that. And then you said, oh, I didn't think about wild implications. You're absolutely right. If it helps, it does fall into punny.
It's a pun?
It's like it's like funny punny. It's not cute. It's punny.
Not cute. It's punny.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. Embiggen was also funny, but I'm also just kind of staring at Druid at the moment. Rapidly pulling a Joss and
it's
going
not Druid.
through. It's not Druid. Oh, it's not Druid.
No.
Oh, you're giving me all sorts of hints that I shouldn't be getting.
I'm not pitying you.
You know what? I do need your pity to have any chance whatsoever, as a matter of fact. Because I also have
then.
Hachikumo also sent over a lot of questions, and I've actually shortened this for time, so we only have a few more cards left.
Okay, so it is a class that begins with W. So there's two options.
Anchor.
Yes, there you go.
All right.
Woo, Hearthstone.
So what? That's technically that's 3 points with a big fat asterisk. That's what that is. That's what
okay.
that is. Yep.
Everyone loves a big fat asterisk.
You always have the risk of drawing all your weapons and no minions at Regis, and then sounds like a Hearthstone sitcom. Two Corsairs in the green skin. Joss. That's such a good quote. That's such a good quote. All right, if I remember correctly, let me go out to the side here. I think I cut this at 8 cards because I knew our 400th episode would be going along, and we're already over 2 hours at this, and this isn't even
this isn't even the 400th anymore.
Yeah, so this is the end, and so I would need to. I actually can't win. Whatever, we're gonna go through this anyway. You have one, so congratulations, Joss. But
Thank you.
In the meantime, let's feel stupid for just a little bit longer and go card 7. It is so flavorful and iconic. I know I am going to say this a lot. Having a loregasm. Lore. Hard L, everybody. And this was a Joss quote, if you couldn't tell.
Okay, loregasm.
It's a loregasm.
And I said it, which makes me, but I would have said it referencing the card. I'm going to guess Kael'thas.
Your second hint. There's a lot of really cool ways you can do this. You can do death rattle things. You can do reborn things.
Ooh, Death Rattle Reborn. That's a loregasm. I'm not even sure if I'm looking at the right expansion. I'm looking at Ashes of Outland, but
You have
I'm just
already
gonna
won.
go with that. I know, but I want to win more, Garrett. I want to win more. God.
As I learned from day 9, when you're ahead, get more ahead.
Oh man, there were so many lore-gasmy things in this expansion. I don't even know. Okay, I don't know.
I'm
I don't
giving
know.
you
I don't
another
know.
hint. Also, chat
Yeah.
room is talking about in Wild, Sylvanas and Nazoth. Garrett quote.
Okay, so like definitely death rattly things. Oh man, death rattled lorgasms. Why is this so hard for me to find? I don't know. I need another one.
All right, your final hint is the fact that this is 3 mana. Like, you will find combos with this card and find the mana to make it happen. I am very pleased. And this was a Garrett quote.
Oh,
This is
man.
a thirsty quote selection. We're talking about lorgasms and being pleased.
Oh my god, I don't think I know this one.
All right, I've got some additional hints for you,
Okay.
since this is for fun anyway. Big lore implications for Death Knights.
Lore implications for Death Knights.
Major figure in Death Knight lore.
Is it from Ashes? Am I in the wrong expansion?
I don't know, as a matter of fact. It is.
Oh man, now I feel like I just how can I not figure this out? Oh man. Okay. Okay. Because I was looking down in classes. Terran Gorfiend.
Yep, Terran Gorfiend. It was indeed Terran Gorfiend. No points, as if it mattered.
No.
All right. What is my final hint as I do my loser lap instead of my victory lap?
All right. I was actually sitting next to you and you were talking to a dev. You were like, oh my God. It was a powerful reaction to it from Regis.
Oh, that means it was at the summit.
Yeah, back when we could go places.
Yeah, which I distinctly remember coming back home, getting off the plane, and them confirming the coronavirus had come to the U.S. And I was just like, I'm going to die. I am going
Totally
to die.
logical and sane reaction.
So that means it's Ashes, and oh my God, it was a very powerful reaction to it. Something to do with Paladin.
You were like, oh my God.
Something to do with Paladin. I'm gonna go Ashes of Outland
The yogurt bowl story.
and go to Paladin real quick. Librum's something, I bet. Something to do with Librums, if I know me and how excited I was coming out of that. I wouldn't have been that excited about Librum of Wisdom. Librum of Hope? Because that's just a bomb Librum.
No, it is not Librum of Hope.
All right, what is my second hint?
It's not like a deck buff or anything. It's just straight up, you have this thing now. That was from me.
Not a deck buff or anything. It's just straight up, you have this
You
thing
have
now.
this thing now.
It has to be in Paladin.
I'm sorry, my quotes are so vague.
Quotes are just,
have this
these
thing
sound
now.
like the ramblings of a mad person. Like,
I can't even argue. You're right. You're completely right.
Just
I
like-
sound insane.
like every character you see in like an eldritch horror with a sign going, the end is nigh. That's a Jocelyn quote.
I see a sign. You have this thing now.
I looked into the eyes of the tentacle creature and said, it's not like a deck buff or anything. It's just straight up, you have this thing now. I still think we're on Paladin, and I'm like, there's so few things that are like, you have to, I was so hung up on Librum, so I'm going to go with Librum of Justice, because that's like, you just have the thing now.
It was Librum of Justice.
Oh! I finally,
just have this thing now.
I finally got one, like sooner than a third. Okay, all right, yeah, all right. So I was zeroing in the vaguely the right direction. So that Joss brings it.
Yeah, I feel like the Regis quote on the beginning of this one was pretty obvious.
It gave it that zeroed me in very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I couldn't look at the set, I think I would have really been in trouble. But
Yeah. Well, I think if we couldn't look at the sets, we would have been in trouble for every single one of these.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Oh, Hachikumo, dude. I'm not. This is not my thing. I am terrible with names and long-term memory. I'm good with trends and general historical time periods. You want to talk to me about, the trends we've gone through in Hearthstone metas? I'm there. You want to be like, hey, what was that one card that existed even like 6 months ago? I'd have been like, I don't know. It's a 4 or 5 that does the thing with the stuff. That's all I got. Anyways,
Yeah.
Hachikuma says that is all. If it ends in a tie, it didn't. The tiebreaker is say things Bob would say in Battlegrounds. Whoever can't think of a new one is in 5 seconds loses. And Hachikuma says, thanks for the 400 episodes of being enraged. Oh, wait, we don't use that word anymore. Thanks for giving us +5 attack whenever we are damaged. Well, Hachikumo, I guess I'm the one who's damaged at the end of this.
I think we all are a little bit.
Yeah. So thank you for putting that together, dude. I'm sorry I cut it down, but I knew it was going to take some time. So
Yeah, even just what we did took a really long time. I don't know what time it is, but I can smell my dinner.
yeah, I'm hungry. So that's going to bring us to the end of this episode of The Angry Chicken and an end to all of the dangling awesomeness from episode 400 that we didn't get to. Thank you so much again to Pi for the physical letter. Thank you, Hachikumo, for putting together that lovely trivia, even though I lost, so clearly it was rigged. I would have said stop the count, but I was at no point ahead. So anyway,
You can't say it.
it's been a long episode. The Angry Chicken is supported by our awesome patrons. That is how we pay our bills. Head on over to patreon.com/TAC if you want to become a patron. You want to support this show. You want to support us and get some perks. Ad-free version of the show, access to our Discord, so on and so forth. Huge thanks to our Patreon producers, by the way, Declan H, Cheesy Bob. If you want to become a producer, check on patreon.com/DAC. Whole back catalog. Not sure you want to listen to 400 episodes, but it's there. Go to
You can.
theangrychicken.com. There's nothing stopping you. And other than that, Joss, where can people find you when you're not doing the Angry Chicken?
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch. That is at Joss Plays. That's JOCE Plays. And that's all I'm going to plug tonight because it's been a long show. So let's just get it moving.
Shut up. I'm changing the subject. I'm Garrett Art on Twitter. This podcast and every single other one that I produce can be found at amove.tv. That's AMOVE.tv. I hear all the time, I didn't know you did a WoW show. I didn't know you talked about Heroes of the Storm. I didn't know you had a Star Wars podcast. Go to AMove TV. You'll learn all of those wonderful things and even find back catalogs of shows that Joss and I have put out the pasture, like Embrace the Spoilers. Some of those links are broken and I'll get to them eventually, but it doesn't pay bills right now, so it's not high on the high on the priority list. But one day I'll get back to preserving my legacy and archiving all of that. Anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for the show. From Joss, from me, for everyone who wrote in. Job's done.
Job's done.